Hello, welcome to another Minecraft video. Today I'm going to be hopefully bringing you a tutorial on the entire banking system that I created. And so, yeah, a quick warning, I'm not going to build this block by block like I usually, which I like to do with my tutorials. But as this is so big, that's just not possible, really. So I'll try and take you it step by step and explaining each bit block by block, but we'll see how we go. So what we're going to start off with is, of course, the 4-digit PIN code. So what we have here is a basic mock-up of how to take off all the different powered lines. So the main problem that you face when you're taking off all your different powered lines is the middle row. So to combat it here, what I did is take the middle one underneath, bottom middle one underneath, the middle one, let's take it straight forward into a repeater so that it doesn't disrupt the two wires either side, and then the top one I just took at the top. So if I press the middle one, the repeater will turn off, whereas that line turns off without affecting any of the other lines. Now all I did here is basically getting it all into order so that if I press number 1, which should be this one here, you see that number 1 there is switched round, and then number 2, and so on. So once you've got all your 9 lines set up, then what you want to do is you want to put it into some inverters or a NOT gate. Basically all this does is change the signal to the opposite of its input. Now what I do here is leave a bit of a gap, and I'll explain this bit later on. But after a bit of the gap, then we have our RS NOR latch. Now these are very simple to create. All it is just a right angle of blocks, a torch on this block and a torch here, and wire up here. Now when building this first time round, I would suggest that when you build it, you take away this block here, take away this redstone here, place your torch underneath there so it's on, and place your wiring, and then place your torch so that this turns off, and then you can place your wire, because otherwise if you have your wire there and then you place your torch, or usually it switches around like that sometimes when you build it, and then you have to actually go through and manually reset it, which can be a bit of a time waster when you're trying to build something quickly. Now once you've got it going through all your RS NOR latches, one for each line, next what you want to do is you want to put it into your AND gates. Now if you don't want your AND gates to be programmable, it's very simple. Just put your input here, input line, into a repeater, and then a repeater on the other side, and then you just can that going block repeater, then to program in the one you want to be switched round, so the ones that you require, you just put a torch on it and then it will light up the ones that you need. Okay, but if you want it to become programmable, what you want to do is have it taking it to the side as well, because if we just have a signal, if we're programming it in from underneath and we have a not signal coming through, so there's no actual signal coming through, that suddenly turns to being on. This is because a torch underneath a block powers all the way around a block, like so, which can be quite useful for some things, but here it's a pain. So what we do to combat this is, as well as taking it to the block where we want to power or not power, we also take it around to the side. So this means that this line here does not get affected by the torch underneath. Now, as we inverted it here to get it to the other side, because we don't want to just use wire, because if we just used wire here and powered it, then that would be affected by the next line coming through. Because then we'd have a block here and a line, and see that powers that one, which we don't want to happen, so that's why we use a torch. Now, as we've used a torch, what we have to do then is invert it again. Some person has suggested using wire here. That's perfectly fine if you want to, but for speed building, I find it much easier just to lay out the repeaters in a row without having to remember which way round my Dustin repeater is. So after you've got your message going through your block, what happens then is it's all gone across left. So to solve this, to then get it back to the original, we're just going to put it through another AND gate which goes the opposite way. So see here, the block and the torch go to the left. So this time what we're going to do is take it to the right, and then we can put our repeaters, block, and then this one here will be our coding one. So that both of those are on, and then if we put line through here, both of those go off. Okay, and then you can just carry on, you can just carry that pattern going on. Now to turn this into a AND gate, what you do is you place just a line of blocks above, and then above these blocks you want to place your redstone wire, and just have that going down to a torch. Now that torch will only turn on if this line here is off. Now the one problem we do face with the combination being 9 digits is the fact that as each digit takes up 2 spaces, it then becomes an 18 long line. Now as redstone signals can only go 15 blocks long, then we come across a problem that the power can't reach. So to do this, what we do is place a repeater in between the torches. Otherwise, if you had it above the torch, say if you wanted to extend it here, then this torch, if this torch went off, then it would say that the combination was correct, even though this torch is still on, because a torch cannot power a repeater from underneath. Okay, so this has been the first part of the tutorial. I hope to see you next time in part 2.